Alright, we are back with, which is like a day 8, I think. Kinda hard to keep track. Some days go really fast, and I know some of the episodes definitely took multiple days. It's probably like really what, paid in game? But in any case, let's start this. Alright. Even though we're pretty far into the fall semester, today is a nice day out. There's a storm coming in later today with a cold front, so temperatures outside are bearable enough to relax in. On the last respite before the unforgiving cold of the winter settles in, I decided to celebrate by eating lunch outside. After a good bit of prodding, Olivia joined me. Bingo, it's so cold. It's freezing my veins solid. It's 78 degrees and you're already agreed, calm down. You stepped out in the chilled air. She pulled the drawstrings of her hoodie tight, yanking it shut again. When I tried moving her along, she starts dragging her tail on the ground. You're secretly enjoying this, aren't you? That hoodie isn't hiding your silly little girl. There's a table by the edge of the yard that's pretty good looking. Now it's just the two of us, alone, sitting at a picnic table in complete silence. Ingenious one-liners flow through my head like a slam poetry champion, yet I can't work up the will to say anything about the wedding era. Honestly, you shouldn't have even said anything at the wedding still. Guess there's always later. So, Olivia. The Gator lifts her head from her roasted beef sandwich and stared directly at me. What's up? How about this weather? Seriously? Yeah, seriously. I'm not used to the coastal town, so this is a nice change of pace. Well, it's pretty chilly. Part of why we're the only ones out here. It is pretty empty out here today. Maybe it's like a human dino thing, or accumulated to snow. Even with the hoodie, it's a lot colder than I like. Oh, why'd you agree to come outside with me then? Well, you and 1 and 2 and I, and you, Olivia's lips quiver a little as she tries to work out the words to say. Her mouth isn't up for the task, as the flush of scarlet spreads across her cheeks and makes her pouting lips grow. These flavor tests insane. Hey, stop looking at me like that. I mean, where are you from then? Midwest. Midwest? Only loons come from Midwest. Oh, come on, that's not true. Alright. What was it like then? A lot of empty promises, nothing worth talking about. What was Safe from my life before I showed up? Oh, horrible. Everyone here sucked. Well, they still do, I guess, but seriously, most of the faculty had a stick up their ass, and the student body was holding on for dear life. I didn't do anything to get out of this place if I got to take you and Damien with me. Wow, colorful. Olivia and I freeze up at the familiar voice. Who just third partied us? Oh. It's frolicking. The sounds of stone grinding on stone echo through the courtyard as we turn our heads towards whomever said it. Oh, that's the principal. I can tell the difference. Principal Scalar stands just as still as us, her face burning red. Though her jaw is moving, teeth grinding especially loud as she looked at us, Olivia. Oh. Dang. It's just not the third party team I want to see. Next to her stands a large girl dressed in formal attire. I guess Mr. Ferris is still doing that inspection. And did he hear? What were you saying just now about student morale and principal skillers? He doesn't even look up from his clipboard as if he gets jotting down something with a pencil. I said had. Ever since Principal Scalar took over as our principal, things have gotten better. Olivia's words do little to make Scalar's face lessen in both color and intensity and heat. Yeah, I have to say this school's way better than my old one, but at least a country mile. So, Mr. Inko, would you say that your time in St. Mahat's since you transferred has been both fruitful and comfortable? I mean, compared to my old school, I've met good friends, I've had exciting teachers and classes, and I've had an all-around good time. Also, the cafeteria food is great. It actually tastes like food and not microwaved reheated gruel. Mr. Ferris gives me a nod and writes something else on his notepad before turning face to Olivia. What about you, Miss Olivia Halford, was it? Got any more comments regarding St. Hamad? Do be honest if you please. Olivia shoots me a quick glance before taking in a deep breath. Well, this school needs more handicap accessory ramps. Also, the elevator in the main building is busted. Sometimes I get stuck for a few minutes. Also, our PE teacher steals hats from students and hoards them in the equipment shed. I can almost feel the heat emanating from Principal Scalar's face as soon as Olivia finished lodging her complaints. Wouldn't want to be around her after Ferris' visit's over. For his part, Christopher nods and writes more down on his clipboard before turning his face to her, who does her best to turn her grimace into some kind of smile. Seems like there are some few issues left over from the previous administration. Are you already taking care of the corrections? Correcting the issues Ms. Halford has pointed out. Principal Scalar nervously clears her throat. I've already sent the request to the district to have the elevator looked at by the technician. Mr. Ferris nods and writes something else on his clipboard before clicking his pen and sniffing into his front two pockets. I have to talk to the superintendent about the request next time I'm at the office. What about this PE teacher Miss Olivia mentions? Oh, Coach Sully? Ferris raises an eyebrow. Is his legit name, is it not? Is it? I know. Gator plays inside a bit. Right. Ferris turns to me. Turns to me. Well, that's enough about St. Hod's for the time being. Mr. Inko, how would you say things are going for you? Not just as a student, but as a growing adult. The school has really helped me learn a lot, sir. I respect the effort of the student and faculty alike, but this effort is making me feel welcome. It's much more refined than my old school levels. Wow, you might as well ask him for a letter of recommendation, honey. That's not what I was doing, Olivia. Olivia doesn't even respond to me, instead laughs quietly to herself. I keep that in mind. The Leviathan finishes jolting down something on his clipboard and finally turns to Principal Scalar. I think I have everything I need for the time being. So, Mr. Ferris, why don't we adjourn to the faculty lounge? Of course, we can go over your future budgetary plans over a nice cup of coffee. The inspector turns away, Princess Shirley lags behind him, with a look of pure misery on her face. I wish he'd done this freshman year. With a huff and a frown, Olivia stabs her lunch tray, treating her Caesar salad like a voodoo doll. Well, look at the bright side. She levels her silver eyes on me, but remains focused on treating her salad like its namesake. It's senior year, and we're about halfway through. can only have put up with this place for a couple more months. She lances the largest piece of chicken, twisting her fork roughly. And then what? Then what? I guess, I don't really have any concrete plans for after school. What do you mean? You mentioned all that stuff about making a name for yourself. I mean, yeah, when I first got here, that was the goal. But honestly, I haven't considered what I was going to do to get there. It's my turn to toy with my mill. You? I plan on getting an art degree. Whoa, really? Like, online, of course. Uh-oh. Not like I have any other options. The only time I'm worth anything is when there is a brush in my hand. Only classes I'm really passing to. I nod my head in understanding, but she's talking about her future, but it sounds more like a resignation than a declaration. I at least have something, even if the path to my goal is vague. The more smooth leaves me at a loss of words. Dang. I was hoping to actually use the time to, I don't know. I wanted to talk to Olivia and ask her something. Or something like that. Stupid Mr. Ferris and his workplace policy dampening mood. The air between us awkward as we pick out our lunches. I had our lunch. And even after the bell rings, we're forced to finish eating. It's still weird. Even when I asked if Olivia would like to push the history class, she just remains silent in thought. David has been quiet for about 5 minutes now. Even though 5 minutes isn't a long time, Olivia has grown so much chattier as of late, her lascivious felt just a bit off-putting to me. A part of me couldn't help but to wonder if it's a cold shoulder directed at me or just remaining nerves from the last conversation. No use thinking about it. So, penny for your thoughts, Olivia. Alright. Sorry, I guess I'm not here right now. What were you thinking about exactly? Olivia lets out a sigh and turns her head upwards so that her eyes meet mine. I really got to thinking about what we were talking about earlier, how it seems like neither one of us know what we'll be exactly doing after school's over. Alright, yeah, that. I hadn't really given much thought to the fact that I have essentially dropped a bombshell on both of us. Now that I really stopped to think about it though, the idea that neither one of us really know what to do after graduation is concerning. More seniors at least have a small idea of what they want to do after graduation. At least I think. Hell, Liz had me a full chart and timeline for it. I mean, I always figured I'd go to college, but that feels so basic, for lack of better words. There'll be some kind of grander plan of what to do with the next big step in life. University, a career, maybe even starting some kind of family. Those are the kind of plans that come to mind. They're all just sample platitudes at the end of the day though. Is it even worth making plans? The more I think about it, the more likely it is that something stupid comes out of left field and wrecks everything. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans and all. So maybe all I can do then is live in the moment. I always hated that sort of thinking. Just be sitting ducks for life to take pot shots at. Just a life pretending death can't show up and take me at any time. Hey, it's Olivia. And friend. Olivia stiffens in her chair. Oh, hey Mia. Oh, Mia's theme isn't playing. Interesting. Olivia's words are a hiss as she tries to face away from the crimson scaled girl. Her hand shakily strains against the wheel of her chair and slowly turns it to. Got a couple of questions to ask you, Olivia. Would you like to humor me for a bit? What am I saying? Of course you don't mind. The Parasaurus stunners up and waves, and with the sway of her hips push me aside as she takes Olivia's reign from me. What the hell? You're insane if you think you're just going with you anywhere. We look down to Olivia and back at me. We. He's funny. We're just going for a little girl talk. No boys allowed, sorry. You're up for that, right, Liv? She puts a hand on her shoulder and cocks an eyebrow back at me like he knows something. So yeah, we're just being a moment. Don't worry that pretty little head of yours. Dang. You really just stole her from me? That's insane. I'm left gawky and confused as the two head off in another direction. Lila doesn't seem to know what to say or to do either. She just goes along with the Parasaurus pulling her away. Part of me wants to give chase, but the side eye that Mia sent back at me forced me to stop. I feel unless as useless as I watch the two turn the corner. I thought of what I want to do, going after the pair, or betrayed by my body still frozen by the icy Pyramia. Dang it, I'll just get to class and ask what this is all about later. See, this is the time we tell Miss Prockling that Mia just ran away with the girl. By the time I get to Miss Prockling's history class, I'm half expecting to find Olivia already waiting for me, some kind of V-mark primed and ready to be spoken to me. But instead, she isn't there. I reluctantly take my seat and tap my foot impatiently. Even when the bell comes and goes, there's still no sign of her. I shouldn't have let Olivia go with her alone. What the hell am I thinking? I really don't want to cut class, but I can't afford anything bad happening to her. Nope, I can't sit and do nothing. I shoot my head up in the air, causing Miss Fenner to pause mid-lecture. Yes, Mr. Nato? Miss Presley, can I be excused? Why, class barely started a few minutes ago. Because Hey, yo. I'm halfway up the hall. The biggest lie, he's never getting back from that, bro. Where did they go? There's not a soul to be found anywhere. If I was a bitch, where would I harass someone in secret? Shoot, whether between them, I hope it isn't a physical. I mean, she wouldn't, would she? My head clenches tighter and tighter as I focus on walking faster. Finally, something snaps me out of my trance, the faint sound of squeaking metal. I've heard that sound before. I turn towards the source just beyond the door nearby the classroom. Judging by the paraphernalia covered the door, I think this is the algebra room. I grab the handle haphazardly, throw the door open, praying that I'm not about to rudely interrupt the teacher for the second time today. Look like shit, how am I? Should I be happy it's done? Two turn to me in mixed anger and surprise, and they're heads of girls I was looking for. I still like the sudden three-way standoff. I was definitely not intending to be a factor in whichever this is. I really should have thought about that before Marty. Really should have. Should have like ear-pierced. Thanks for after Jesus, she's okay. What the are you doing here? I should ask you two the same question. Oh my god, Pauline. Now's not the time. Don't talk to him like that. Yeah, or what? I told you not to be followed. You were there when we left. He just heard you screaming like a maniac. I've been forgotten already. Hey. Why are you two in that empty room yelling at each other? The two fall definitely silent, unwilling or unable to speak. I know it's a piece of paper in Mia's hand and it looks like something drawn on it. The style is different, but it's unmistakably one of Olivia's works. Mia, why do you have her drawing? The parrot stopped blinking for a few seconds before shoving the paper in her jacket. Before I can question any further, Olivia speaks up. Inko, why did you come here? You seem like you were in trouble. How touching. Well, we're all in trouble now. We? Yeah, dumbass. I don't have time for this. Hot Wheels filling in. What's the big issue? Olivia claws at her armrest again. She looks ready to cry. Hey, we're all that vicious for hour ago. Gas. Are you afraid to tell him? Afraid of what he'll think? Shut up. Precious, fine, I'll say it. Mia turned to me with a malicious grin. I know about what this frick did during the yearbook art contest. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't give two shits, but then it hit me. Holy shit, she can just get away with it. Now, how crazy is that? She paused, galling me to say otherwise, but I bite my tongue. Like a shark smelling blood, she starts to circle me and continues her taunting. Then one thing led to another. Now we helping each other out. After all, if the school found out, I'd leave a permanent mark on her unemployed ass. What? Yours too, probably, since you're involved in all. My teeth crackle painfully from my clenching jaw, and yet blood drained from my face. I'm talking about her record, mouth breather. Art. Art's her big break, right? Skipping the whole... Words! The gist of it's simple. So Olivia draws up some BS group projects for me and some friends of mine, turns them in, and I make sure the whole incident goes away. I managed to earn back some of the feeling in my consciousness, just long enough to defy her. But that's blackmail and cheating, that's wrong. Oh god, you're that fucking precious. Mia blinks a few times before turning to look at Olivia and then back at me and then back at Olivia. What, are you disappointed in her now? I bet you made her pinky swear she would never do anything like that again. She leans close to me, a fluxual whispering. Well, sorry to break the news to you, Inko, but your friend here is alive. Don't listen, I wouldn't be. She was just threatening me. Threatening, honey. If we swapped, you'll see my ass hanging. All I'm doing is making things better for the both of us. Not my fault you try to get away with cheating. You'd think a cripple like you would have more shame than that. I watch Olivia's eyes start twitching and it's starting to get to her. I can't let her talk to her like that. Mia, just stop it, okay? She really doesn't need this right now. Can't you both just walk away and pretend this never happened? Shit, Inko, you're good. You hear that, Olivia? Wait, but I didn't mean. Olivia is staring at me with a look of betrayal that threatens to tear my heart into two. God damn it, why can't I stop talking for once? Mia waves me off, turning face to her target one more time. I bet you love to walk away from this, but things just don't work out the way they do. And that's why you don't want Inko knowing you're still a dirty cheater. Shut up, she says. Oh, relax, it's not a big deal. No, I'm sick of this. You already admitted it. Art's my big break. You're only doing this because art is all I have. Your record is fucked. You lose nothing if we get caught. It's Tuesday for you. For me, it's all I have. You're embarrassing yourself. You know, I can't lift or run or carry or dance or fucking anything you do on a daily basis without even thinking about it. But I can't ever do anything else because of these fucking legs and this fucking chair. Why can't any of you just leave me alone? I just want to draw for God's sake. Mia rolls her eyes and takes a step closer to Olivia. That's a nice outburst and all, sweetie, but really, though, you were smarter than that. Olivia wipes away her tears with her sleeve. What? Mia takes another step forward. Think, handbag. Would I really go to the trouble of making you do this junk for meddling grades? If your words were crap, you wouldn't have a record to hold over you. Everyone knows you're the best artist in this place. You're just a retard about it. Olivia's mouth hangs open, but no words come out. You're the kind of idiot to let this sort of comment get to you, so let me be the first to say it. Congratulations, Olivia. You have a fan. Anyways, uh, no, one word and I just could not fast read that. Anyways, Inca, hey. Distractions aside, you're in on it now too. You don't want Olivia to starve now, would you? Her words, not mine. Say a damn word about this, any of this, and she's doomed. Do you understand me? I talked to most of the words of defiance, but just past Mia's staring depth, I spot Olivia's horrified expression. Hello, Baldy. I'm waiting for your answer, Skinny. Hmm. Honestly, I don't know what to say or do in this situation. No. Excuse me? Let me think this over with Olivia. Think it over? You're dense or something? It's the simple yes or no question, or you can't be serious. Mia pinches the bridge of her snout and lets out a tired sigh. Fine. The two of you talk it over and reach some kind of resolution. But that doesn't change the fact of what I said earlier, Inko. Don't say I didn't do nothing nice. But think carefully, amigo. Y'all both got a hell of a lot more to lose than I do. Mia only gives me and Olivia one final glance before unceremoniously leaving the room. It takes me a bit to recover my thoughts. I never thought Mia would go this far. And Olivia right now must be. I stand up from the floor, suddenly approaching the alligator. She looks like a mess. Why did you have to come in here? I'm sorry, I was just so worried about what Mia could have been doing to you, and I wanted to make sure you were alright. Olivia grasps her armrest. Was alright. I had it handed to Mia. But to basically be her slave doing all her work? Not all of it, just wherever she needs to pass. I take a seat next to her there. She threatened me that she'd go to Scalers and spill everything. And if Scalers knew that I swapped the heart, she'd know that it was with you. I couldn't let her do that to us, so I got desperate and told her I'll do anything she wanted. That's how I got mixed up with her. I let out a deep, heavy sigh. Olivia, I can understand why, but I hear how Olivia was treating you before I came in. Even when you're doing her work to save her skin, she still treats your art, or more importantly, you, like garbage. My words rip through the Gator's fragile heart, and her face contorts in a fierce sneer even as her eyes move red. You're miserable. You know that. Olivia looks away from me and her face scrunches up as tears well in her eyes. I just don't know what to do. And I don't even know I can trust her to keep her word. And now that you know what's going on, Mia has a nose around both of our heads. The gravity of the situation settles in, and I feel like something in me is both frozen, over, and ablaze. There's only 6 months left in the semester. It's not like she's asking for something impossible. I regained some fire as she smiled. I'll just have to tough it out, keep making art to shut her up until this whole stupid thing blows over. She's been going through this for so long, and still, it's just, I'm out of options, and so is she. I just blur out the first thing that comes to mind. Why not tell Mrs. Jones about me as making you do? Taylor, are you out of your mind? You saw how she handles things around here, especially with that auditory breathing down her head. I'm trying to avoid getting caught. Right. Okay, Lansky. For a split second, I see her mask crack, her real worry evident in those silver eyes shaking. No. Olivia makes a show up clear and thorough. Miss Galantis doesn't need to hear this either. You know he'll be able to. I can do this on my own. Her bald fists quaking wild as they slam onto her armrest, and the Gator girl does her best to hide her wins. I really don't think we can fix this if we're not working together. There's nothing to fix. I told you I have it under control. Just please, Inko, I need you to trust me on this. Don't ruin this for me. I do trust you. Her voice is softening as she's been fully drained out. I can handle it, I told you. Her face unfurls and keeps shaking. I take one of her hands, ignoring her ingenuous flatter I delicately cradle, as I delicately cradle it in my palm. Her protest dies down into a pained wince when my thumbs ever so slightly press down on a joint. All this time, you've been doing your best, Olivia. My self-worth drew out an even softer breath from her. Mia had rejoined her group almost daily. It must hurt a lot after so long. Maybe it does, but it's nothing I can't work through. Why can't you trust me to help then? It's not that I don't trust you, Inka. It's that I did trust everyone else. So please stop asking about fixing me. Or fixing things, I mean. Is that what this is about? Olivia burning out at this point. She's already hurt badly. I can feel her hands still shaking. It's beyond the point that either of us alone can handle. I let go of Olivia's hand, watching as she takes back her hand to settle it against her chest. I hook a nearby chair leg with my foot and drag the seat close enough that I can sit right next to the funny-looking dinosaur. Inka, I find that being next to her like this makes it easier for what I'm about to say. Breathe in. Meeting her eyes once again, I speak my honest thought. Mr. Lantern can't help Olivia. Her teeth growing together as thoughts contemplate pulling my face over. Please hear me out. I want to trust you, Inga, but I'm just scared that Miss Glances will hate me forever for this. He's the only one that's ever made me feel like my art's worth something. I can't lose him. Look, we can get you out of this. Of course, we tend to understand even go to bat for you. And if you're the one to speak up, it means you're the one getting back at me. She won't have power over you. I can't just give it up all like this. How can I trust you with my entire future? You have nothing to lose, I have everything. Can you trust Lampkin? Will he really just let that happen? Mia has no reason to not throw you under the bus, does he? Of course not. Mr. Lampkin is. He's the only teacher that's never given up on me. I'm here with you too. You're not alone, Olivia, but you need to accept our help. Please. Olivia looks me in the eyes for a few seconds before sharply snapping her face downwards. Her body then begins to quiver, almost as if she trembled with a mix of cold and fear. Olivia, I get up from my chair and reach out to grasp her shoulder to try to comfort her somewhat. It's okay, I'm here for you. Olivia, shaking lessons, even hopes that my words were starting to reach her. But not 2 seconds after those thoughts crossed through my mind, Olivia's shaking resumed once again. The shaking followed by sniffing, at which point I noticed tears rolling down Olivia's snout and falling down to her eye. Olivia. Before I can finish my words, Olivia lunges forward, wrapping her arms around my abdomen, bringing me forward and burying her face into my stomach. At which point, she begins to let out what I can only describe as a painful farewell. At first, I'm left utterly frozen in place, hands raised, eyes wide open. Nothing in my life has ever prepared me for a situation such as this. Now, Inka, you know what to do. I place my other hand on Libby's shoulder and slowly take a single knee to bring me to her eye level. Now, without saying a word, I tighten my embrace upon her arms to wrap around my neck as I wrap my arms around hers. Her waist is pulling closer to her boa-like tail that becomes an impromptu belt, harnessing me to the Gator girl. There is a distant thumping in my chest rhythmically and relaxing. The realization that it's her heart setting my face ablaze, but also bringing a smile to my lips. I close my eyes and let myself become lost in the warmth of Olivia's embrace. When we break apart, I check on our time limit. My phone says there's 20 minutes before school's out. Hopefully Miss Galantis a free period right now. You ready? Olivia gets a small nod. I get up and start towards the door. The door held open with the back of my shoe. I looked back at Olivia. Olivia wheels over. She grunts with each push. Oh crap, I'm an idiot. Once she reaches me, Olivia gives me a meaningful look. Though I don't really get it. Intense till her tail wrapped itself around my wrist. Alright. Taking Olivia's rein from her, we start towards our art teacher's room and companionable silence. Man, I can't wait to just go home and relax. Maybe open a bag of chips. Olivia trembles and falls to a two words. Okay, you guys can read that. She's seen enough of Mia to last a while. Then again, so have I. She'd probably kill us if she saw us sneaking off. We're near the end of it all, nearly over. It's the first bit of quiet that we get, just the sound of Olivia and I walking through the halls. Olivia gripping my waist pretty hard. Guess she's still pretty tense. Says maybe that's a message challenge place around here that could be pretty nice around. No, wait a second. Just the sound of Olivia and I walking through the halls. Something ancient awakens in me. An icy chill races down my spine as if there's a knife poising just behind my neck. The Gator girl tenses, head stiffly turned. Her pupils slowly shift to mine, and there's concentration to pinpoint being attentions to the dangers of my ancestral instincts are warning me of. So, you two trying to run, eh? Fight or flight reflexes kick in, zero thoughts in my head, my body chooses to just book it. That escalated quickly. For a moment, I wonder if the deafening noise of the middle door being hit is from me punching in rage or accidentally slamming into it, chasing out the rest. When I catch you, I will eviscerate you and every last thing you love. The elevator finally begins to descend downwards. I exhaled deeply. Olivia grasps for breath. My arm stings from Olivia's razored grip. Good thing I have a jacket. Her claws have shredded from the sleeves. I think it may have even drawn blood. I shake my arm a bit and Olivia retorts her hand apologetically. Sorry. Oh god, are you okay? No, I'm not. What happened when we reached the bottom? Mia will be waiting for us? Olivia removes the key from the slot. It won't open. Just don't make any noise. The elevator reaches the bottom. Just as Olivia says, without the key, the unmowed chamber simply powers down. Silence. There's a small gap under the door, lighting in, nobody there. We sit in a dark, empty cabin for what feels like a minute. I press close to Olivia while we wait. I can feel her tail wrap around my ankles, which thankfully won't rip my clothes apart. The phrase 7 minutes in heaven surfaced in my mind, and it disappeared immediately. It's a bit warm in here. Heavily rapid footsteps zone in on us, accompanied by the sound of ripping paper. Mia's destroying everything on the walls. You fuckers had better still be in there. If you cowards run away, so help me Razor Jesus. She's running for the door. I hear her heavy breathing and soft flapping as she attempts to put her ears to the door a few times. I try to stay as silent as possible, but I'm afraid that the homicidal cursors can hear my heart hammering in my chest and pants crapping hard. Mia, with no intentions to vent her frustration verbally, resorts to the next best thing, physical therapy. We're surrounded by the sound of ripping paper, dented lockers, and drywall fracturing. On occasion, sometimes hitting the elevator door again. Liv and I don't dare to move. I hear other voices and Mia draws attention to herself. Who the fuck are you looking at? Do you want you want one less horn? Find someone quick. I fucking swear I had it with all that fucking luggage case on wheels. Good luck painting when you're eating through a shrub. Bitch, like, crack. Oh, bro, she's going out here. Ava takes a sharp breath, silent. And what was that sound? It sounded like a series of sharp crackles. Hey, whoa, hey, cool it. It's not what it looks like until rapid footsteps echo from down the hall. Is she gone? What the fuck could have scared me like that? Girl about to get tased. She was going crazy at the door, yelling, screaming for fire. She was a menace. It's over. She was caught in 4K. The light knocking on the elevator door. Hey, anyone in there? He sounds exhausted, but it's definitely Lankins. But now my eyes have adjusted to the light. Olivia relieves a powerful and she said that powerful and shared. My body finally relaxed and particularly melting against the wall of the tiny elevator. We're going to have to tell Lankins. It's safe to come out, it's all clear. Well, it looks like a stick of dynamite went off out here, but otherwise it's fine. I looked at Olivia who stares at the key in her hand. She moves to unlock the elevator but hesitates. I think our teacher is able to sense it since he tries. His tired voice carries the weight of his worries. Everything's okay, I promise. But she didn't put it in, she just stared. I don't know that. Olivia whispers softly and I can barely make it out. God, please. Putting the key in, opening up, means telling Lankins everything. There's no way Mia's letting this slide. Nothing's a safe bet. Nothing can be sure forever. But can't do nothing, and she can't do anything either. So she looks at me, as if I had an answer. The key is offered to me delicately between the two of her claws. Options. Damn, already on another page of options. So what do we want to do here? We make a big deal about her doing it. But frankly, we could just do it just to get it over it. The oral question is, do we want to open it, taking control again on what we feel like we should have her doing? Or do we want to try to force her to do it herself? Frankly, I'm gonna just take the key. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's get this over with. We've gotten this far, time to end it. I've had enough of all the stress, and by the looks of it, so has Olivia. She has been dealing with it much longer than I have. Longer than me, so it's time for me to carry on my own weight here. It's the least I could do to take the final step for her. Even if she doesn't trust Lanigan, she trusts me. She doesn't trust Lanigan? That doesn't sound right. But it can't be anything else, just that. Enough nonsense. I take the key and move the slide to the keys panel. With the key inserted and a twist, the dark room shudders briefly before the metal door finally starts to slide open. We're greeted by the sight of our teacher looking very haggard, his brows slick and sweating and holding some strange black rod. Olivia reels back at the sight of the odd baton. Thanks for saving us, Mr. Lanskin. Don't thank me just yet. I'm going to need an explanation from all of this. So is Printer Scalar for that matter. He steps aside and motions us out of the elevator with a wave of his broad baton. Come along now. Give the janitor some time to take care of this mess. Holy shit, it looks like Olivia tries to destroy everything within her reach in the hallway. On the ceilings, a pipe is leaking, water intended for the fountain and toilets. A group of dinosaurs in overall around the corner, looking absolutely pissed. Our teacher waves at them and begins to escort us to his room. All the adrenaline has faded now, and I can feel the acute pain in my arms. Olivia's hand reaches back behind her head to the arm she grabbed, and her fingers delicately loop around the spot. She looks back, her mouth shut tight, but her sympathetic eyes tells me she's sorry. I nod back with comforting smile. Sure it hurts, but I knew she didn't mean it. We looked forward again to the door of Mr. Lord Lincoln's office. Olivia sighs and resigns herself to explain everything to our teacher. About to explain everything? Olivia looked ready to collapse. She had taken the better part of an hour explaining Mia's extortion to full details to Mr. Lanigan's. I grabbed Olivia's canteen and handed it to her. She greedily chugs the entire thing, grasping around and rubbing her sore throat. It was hard to get a read on what our teacher was thinking. His brow was frowning, his fingers steamed, and he was muttering to himself. Finally, with a deep sigh, he sat to her desk and looked at the exhausted girl. I had a feeling something was going on, but to this extent, you should have come forward sooner. I know, but we're here now, aren't we? Fair point. Still, I'm concerned that you thought nobody would notice. I didn't think anyone would care to look. Those assignments go through dozens of eyes, you know. What do you mean? Your style, Olivia. I saw it from a mile away and I was just waiting for you to talk to me. You knew? Why didn't you say anything? I wanted to come from you. Don't worry, I'm not going to lecture you. After Jesus knows you had enough of that already. I'm glad you two are okay. Yeah, I thought she was actually gonna collapse. Mr. Galante shakes his head before he smiles up at us. Have some faith in the faculty here. We do our best for you. With what we have on me and now, we can justify watching her like a hawk from here on. Anybody else she was harassing out of thank you. Are you sure she's actually gonna get in trouble for this? At this point, we look bad if we don't punish Mia for this kind of behavior. That's relief. Come on, you two can hunker here until school clears out. You sure? You were going to stay after, like, always anyways, right? Yeah. A loud noise makes me stumble to the floor. Mr. Lankin. What? Lankins looked at the device in his hand. Is that a taser? There's a piece of tape on it with something written on it. Esteroporocla. Anyways, I'm going to run and get something done. They're going to want my account on paper pretty soon. May as well knock it out on the way. With no care at all, Mr. Lanka chucks the electric weapon onto the desk before turning to his doorway. Don't burn the place down, alright? I'm not gonna lie. With the tense situation, that crackle, I don't know where would have gotten me to. Alone. I go sit near the back of the classroom. Looking out the window, I finally let out a huge sigh I've been holding in. Olivia rolls over to join me, and surprisingly she's smiling. You were right, Inka. I could trust him. We sit in silence just looking out the window. When school lets out, we watch the crowd of students going through. I don't see Mia in the crowd, but that doesn't matter. I think despite it all, Olivia's life is going to be a bit easier after today. I want to see Ben's expression, like, Ben's okay, but I'm feeling kind of iffy about him. I need to know how he feels about this. As students trickle out of the school, Olivia took the chance to unwind. I figured it would be best to let her rest as I saw her dropping eyelid finally shut. She looked cute, just napping idly in her wheelchair. Except for the weird burling. It was like a snore, except I can feel it vibrating through the floor. With the cloud hiding the sun and the classroom light turned off, I could do with some shut-eye too, but I can't bring my eyes closed. Instead, I looked out the window. The layers of cloud overhead steadily growing more dense, casting a darker shade on everything. Light raindrops trickle against the glass. Crap, I really should have brought my umbrella. A few minutes go by, they're rolling closer and closer, blocking out the sunlight. If Olivia were awake, she'll think it's pretty neat. I look back at her. Maybe I can nap too, just a little. Whoa. My eyes are drawn upward at the heavy clouds in the sky. In the moments, the glass of window is assaulted by numerous heavy droplets of rain. Holy moly. The trees outside are whirling almost aggressively. Several small branches have stripped away in a torrent of downpour. An umbrella wouldn't help with this. What? My phone's blaring an alarm. So is Livia's. Instructions to shelter in place for several hours. The classroom door is thrust open quickly. Rich glances his back, panting hard, clothes drenched. He takes a moment of surprise to compose himself as best as he could. Sorry about that. The faculty is doing a sweep of the campus right now. Apparently there's a monsoon scare right now. A monsoon? Does that happen here? Making gestures to his general outfit out of the window as if to ask if Mia had clocked me in the head after all. Right. Are we going to be alright? Oh yeah, of course. Schools are designated shelters for the worst disaster. If anything, you're safer here than at home. But the hallways outside is open, isn't it? I just finished putting up the covers. The cover? Just keep close to the wall, yeah? What do we do now? Lincoln shakes his phone at us. Shelter in place. We're all stuck here for a few hours. Olivia reaches into her bag and pulls out her drawing book and well-used pencil. Actually, why don't you use this time to catch up on some schoolwork? I'm sure you have some work and other classes still pending, and I can't think of a better time to tackle that than now. But today's been rough. Can I just do this and finish my nap instead? That's fine too, but aren't you failing behind grade-wise in some of your other classes? Maybe. Fine, I'll catch up some of the work. Lincoln gives a single nod and smiles. Olivia puts away her drawing with her and instead pulls out a bulky mathematics book, which she sat on the table with more force than necessary, followed by her notebook. With some hesitation on her part, Olivia sets herself to work. Meanwhile, I bring myself closer to her in case she wants some help with the work. After a few minutes, it clears her mind and spirit isn't into the work for one bit. She's consistently picturing tapping her pen on the table and looks around the room out the window. Eventually, she lets out a groan and slams her bush jaw. Can I please do something else? Ankins, who has been busy himself with grading some papers, snaps up away from his work, looking at Olivia while rubbing his shin. Well, there is one other thing you can help out with. Would need both of your help with it. Could even consider it an new extra assignment. What do you say? I know today's been pretty rough with you, Olivia. Absolutely, I'll do it. Alright, thank you, at least it's not what that meant. Wonderful, it's back here. He starts walking to the back of the room and waits for the two of us to follow him. Whoa, something in the dark room? Aw man, I thought we wouldn't get to do anything in there until the last few weeks of the semester. Are we going to get a head start on this selection? Maybe he'll be missing a sprint or learning about C4 and, Olivia pokes my back. Created with the cinematic grids, you're going to lose. A part of me just swears we're gonna go back here and I'm just gonna see Mia tied up. I shake the examiner off and head to the dark room. Lincoln holds the door open for the two of us to enter. The inside glows with vibrant crimson lights. Lincoln's suit appears to light up in a red light as does his shirt. It only actually been a dark room once before. Is it so cool? At clasp my hands together. So, what are we developing? This is an important job for just for you. All right, I'm ready for it. What are we developing? Your lower back. Oh. No. So they click the switch and the red light switch turns to a normal light and properly illuminates the room. These boxes over there, I need one of each stationed around here. Around the room, but they're too heavy for me. If you can, of course. Legally, I can't make you do any of this. Do I at least get extra credit? You get one of the bag of chips I keep hidden in my desk. Fine. Nice. Come on, Olivia, we should clear the way for There's actually is something in the box we need in a bit. The two move back to the entrance and I'm faced with the myriad of boxes I have to carry. Looks like there's about 10 of pretty medium size. Looks like you could fit a table lamp in them. How heavy can they? How heavy can they? Lift with your knees and this is gonna suck. I look at Olivia, she's already on. She already has her phone out and pointed my way. Then I shift my legs and try again. I actually managed to get the thing off the ground. It must weigh at least several tons, several pounds. Or are these coated with bricks? Something like that, carefully or fragile. Damn. You hate to see it, huh? Finally, I get the last box in place. Man's a dead rush. Gym class did not prepare for this. I pick a chair and collapse to the heat. My muscles are on fire. To be honest, I didn't know if I could have done all of that at the beginning of the year. I guess I'm getting stronger. Jenkins walks back into the dark room with a small black toolbox. Oh, good, you're done. Come on out and take a breather. That looks tough. I'd rather stay here. Olivia showed up to the doorway behind Jenkins. I'm surprised you didn't use the dolly. What's dolly? Before you get started with me, Ingo, you did ask. With all love, I hate you. That's true. Olivia stifles her laughter into a snicker of snortfest. Your mood will improve when you see just what you've been carrying. Oh. He grabs a box cutter from the shelf and slices the top of one open. Our teacher pulls out what looks to be a large overhead lamp from the box. Oh, sweet. So that means that you'll be making your own print for the midterms. That sounds awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to. But before any of that, these need to be assembled. The rest of the parts are taken from the first box and set down meticulously. Olivia has gotten curious as she rolls up to the station handling one of the funnier looking pieces. Anywho, here you two go. Wait, two? Yes, two. Don't think I didn't notice you watching Ingo so much. The shiver and denial from Olivia does nothing to wipe the cheeky grin from our teacher's face. But what about you, Mr. Lampkin? I'll be right back. He makes his way to the door again. Get started without me, I need to go fetch something. Before Olivia or I could speak up, he left the room. Olivia already has the toolbox open in her lap. Right then. I grabbed the folded up instructions and laid it out, seeing the details of the Rosar device fully assembled. Okay, so, step 1. And hand me the next piece. Oh, did I scare you? Yeah, you scared me. I'm still on edge. These things are heavy. What if you dropped that on me or something? I didn't though. But you could've. And I didn't. They just reaches for the brackets, but I grabbed the limbs before she could take them. Hold on. You gotta do things right or the enlarger might not work right. She retracts her tail from the table. You're no fun. It's just an oversized lamp. That's a gross oversimplification. You're a gross oversimplification. This is gonna make you use that one you break. This means I can sketch flooring. Well, it doesn't mean you can't participate and learn about photographs. Photograph your thing, so it doesn't really apply to me much, does it? Well, maybe that's the case for you, but photographs, my thing, is the whole reason I took this class after all. Oh, sorry. It's nothing. Olivia politely rests her hands in her lap. Her eyes linger on the box of art. Well, how does it work then? The print enlarger? She shakes her head. Photograph. Like, why the giant lamp thing? It's all digital today, right? I think that's the first time someone actually asked me about it. It's been a wonder. Sure, I've had a lot of mid-shower rehearsal explaining my hobbies and their cultural significance to others, but none of that comes to me right now. It's all about shot composure and this machine part of the production of it. Getting the right things in the right places at the right time to invoke a certain feeling. Composition is a thing in painting too, you know. I'm ill prepared for Olivia's comeback. Yeah, but it's a lot easier to pick the composition you want. You don't have to worry about any factors other than yourself. With photograph, you have to build the set to get a good photo. That's the fun of it. Why would you want to limit yourself like that? Why not just draw whatever you're taking a picture of instead? You could express all kinds of things you never could express with the photo. Olivia taps a claw on the imager and the metallic pink echoes from the swan. What sets all this junk apart from just lines on a page? The technique, the vision. She smirks at my improved comment. Okay. Or you need to destroy my words. She smirked. Fine, I'll show her. I'll prove to you that this takes skill. I hold a lighting portion up, making sure it's at the right angle and fasten the last portion of the larger in. I plug the machine in and flip the switch. Happy it works right and lights up the entire base. Olivia looks at me with confusion as I move to the entrance of the room and flick the light switch, bathing the room in a bright red again. Going back to the workspace, I pulled the developed negatives from my backpack and slid a slide I wanted into the carrier. And ta-da! Negative carrier is placed in the machine, a blurry gray blob is projected into the base. What? Give me a minute. I hold it manually under the light to slide the blob, checking which knob is which and slowly turning on. As the lens is pulling shifts and words test transformation, gaining more definition until finally it becomes a splitting image of the school's front entrance. I can even do this. I take out the negative and place another on top of it before sliding the carrier back in, while also increasing the strength of the light. The image displayed is now the entrance with half a dozen semi-transparent students in front of it. What did you do? I overlapped another sheet. The backgrounds are the same and doubled up, so I had to intensify the lights, otherwise the entry would be too dim. So, that would take me like a few minutes to do top. It looks a lot better too. She smirks, but I think she's faint. Her appetition is high. Her tail gives her away. Words. It's a lot more technical, I guess, but I only knew how to do this kind of stuff from Mr. Valentin's lecture about negatives. What else can you do with this thing? I don't know, but... What's that smell? Oh, I pulled out the negative cartridge and once how hot it was. Crack, 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 crack. Maybe it's quick to rip the plug from the socket. With my sleeves opening up the carrier, I see I managed to melt the two negatives together. Oh man, I was going to use that. All that work is and I go and mess it up trying to prove something. Olivia is never going to let me live this down. The green gator laid a sympathetic hand on my shoulder to my surprise. Hey, shit happens. I ruined a lot of paintings in the past too, you know. He takes the reel from the warm metal plate and holds them up to the red light trying to see through. And you got more shots of this thing. But I like those shots. And go retake them. It's not that easy, like, I had to be exact time, the weather, lighting. The abrupt darkness concludes with the vaguely amplified sound of ventilation shutters so hall. The blackness is an all-encompassing and I can't even see Olivia, who I know is right next to me. Inca? Her voice helps me confirm that we're still alive in some fashion. But there's a shakiness in her tone which sends a tense falling down my spine. Our breath is the only noise. It's as if we've been encapsulated in a void of nothingness. I'm still here. I know that. I put my hand down to embrace her sound, feeling a still warm metal of her large face. But yeah, I guess the school lost power. I feel something covering my hand, and then squeeze, painfully. Ah, sorry. The pressure lessens, but she doesn't let go of my fingers. No, that's fine. There is a subtle shaking and the scaly limbs in my hand. But when I brush my thumbs across its limbs, it's easy. Hey, stop that. Stop what? Just that. Stop that thing you're doing with my hand. I shrug. And then went to slap my face. And then went to slap my face when I realized she can't see it. Alright. Standing here in the darkness of the dark room isn't getting us anywhere. We should go. Olivia, Inca? My instincts kick in. I hop back to space between us and the killer. I turn my back to them to become a offensive wall. I wrap my arms around Olivia's head to make sure she's 100% protected. Hey, it's just me, Mr. Lankins. It took a bit to find a flashlight, but how the room is. I looked up to the shiny white pterodactyl, pointing the flashlight at his own face. Oh. As Olivia tells him to get off of him. Give her up for her. Look, I'm not playing you two to get frisky in the closet. That's what Trigum's class is. You're not pay. You're not. Mr. Leggett holds up a bell head and he grins wide. Relax, I'm just joking. I like how she's like, we're not getting frisky. He's like, bro, you're not paying me. He leans against the doorway to get a better look inside the dark room. It's his flashlight. Power is out for the whole block. Apparently our backup generator is decades old and it's only keeping the ACs on. Someone should get fired for that. Come on, we can't wait. We can wait it out in the studio. Olivia follows me out into the main classroom as we chill slowly in Mr. Lincoln's wake. The slow sounds of his cricket set, nice contrasting rain lashing against the window. What are these words? Wow, it's really coming down outside. I think it'll flood. It floods here? Sometimes the ground floor classrooms used to have carpet, you know. Lincoln starts pulling something out of his desk, but it's too dark to see what. Don't remind me. That junk just sucked away half of the year's fundings. You ever tried teaching people about watercolors without their freaking watercolors? It was ridiculous. I remember. Remember you were the most upset. Alright. He set some tiny tea lights down one of the desks and begins lighting. The tiny wicks are set along with the tiniest embers, proving the bare minimum of illumination for us to see. Won't these trigger the fire alarm? We should be fine, they're too small by themselves. What's those for? Been saving them for a rainy day, quite literally. We're going to be stuck here for a while, so why not make it a camp out? Camping. Like the sound of that. When we get in trouble though, we'll be trespassing, right? It's either this or trying to get home. As if to illustrate his point, the weather decides to chime in. Besides, schools are usually made with shelters in mind. There's all kinds of procedures for this, like bringing everyone to the gym and breaking out some moldy cults. Olivia winces. Those haven't been replaced. Our budget has been in the red for years, Miss Halford. Part of why we've been scrutinized right now with the whole audit business. Anyways, we're only one left on campus, so it's not gonna go through all the trouble. I'll just relax for now. I've already called the taxi for both of you. Taxi? I made the call as soon as the power went out. I'm just gonna be a while to get one ready and sent out. Alright. What we do in the meantime? Our teacher has a wicked grin. You're not done with that homework, right? Oh, I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. Time in the storm carries on, yet things are surprisingly calm. Olivia pretends to focus on her work while I pretend to help her, but soon enough, Mr. Lincoln starts sharing a wild story about the previous semester. You know, a few years back, someone tried to take his hat right off his head. Let me tell you, I've never seen a shovel fly that fast. It sounds appropriately violent. Either way, Olivia slowly loosens the facade of productivity, and I joined her not long after. You know, I still owe you for ruining your one coat last year. Oh, forget about it. I have dozens of them in my closet anyways. You too. The eerie ambiance from the blackout is quickly overridden by our combined laughter. Eventually, we run out of things to say and just wait quietly in each other's company. Lampkin slumps downwards in his chair. Long day too. He glances out the window, still being assaulted by sheets of rain water outside. Normally, I'm home by now resting. You two mind if I relax a little here? No, go ahead. Thanks. He stretches behind him, cracking his spine against the groove of the chair. Olivia, I've been meaning to say, huh? You're usually so quiet and reserved, isolated even. I've noticed you've been a bit more friendly recently. You think so? You've been in my classes all 4 years, of course I would. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, but it hurts me to see a student hurt themselves like this. When you're in the adult world, you see this all the time. Once someone is in a rut, they tend to just stay there until their days blend together instead of lifting themselves up. Like they got all the time in the world. So I'm proud of you for making an effort, Olivia. Oh, Mr. Lincoln, don't be flustered, be proud, Olivia. You managed to form a relationship. I said friendship, but I'll take that too. Of course, I appreciate you extending an olive branch to Nika. Me? Oh, no problem, Mr. Lincoln. Come on, school hours are over. You can drop the mistake. I mean, it's not something to be thanking me for, is it? I'm just a friend. That's great to hear, though. You can't always be navigating this world alone. Someone to keep company can really help. He can. Dang, I feel some way. More than you can imagine. Lincoln leans forward and places a hand over both of us. He just barely makes contact with Olivia's wrist when he winces and yanks it back. Olivia, are you alright? I'm fine, it just hurts. It was fine before though. You've been trying to stay off that wrist all day. Was it that bad? It was feeling better. I even helped build those doohickeys. The print enlargers. He covers his eyes with one hand. Of course. Try and move. Student's been overworking herself and I think this gives extra physical work. What am I doing? It wasn't your fault. I didn't want to work. I had no idea how bad it was. He leaned forward again, gently holding Olivia's wrist, respecting it and being careful not to cause any pain. You need to take care of yourself, Olivia. If something were to happen, I know you'd be completely beside yourself. I know. I know we're doing extra work, but how did it even get this bad? It was a lot of extra work. Doing the whole group's assignment on top of mine. For the last 3 weeks, basically all my free time. It's great practice at least, that's what I was telling myself. Elliot does her best to hide her wincing as the teacher tests her arm. I never would have made it to graduation. All because of that painting you switched. He shakes his head and lets go of Olivia. No, it goes further than that. That painting was all because of the pain you've been going through all these years. All because of the first content entry hanging in the gala. Your first venue into the art world and it went how it did. Olivia looks down at her hand, stretching the fingers out and in slowly carefully. Her hand moves without a thought, fingers taking her hand carefully to help in some way or another. You and that painting. I treat your palm to his face and groans into it. It's a generally good piece, Olivia. I've told you that so many times. She locks up, but manages a small nod. What a horrible chain of wits. I have to witness it all these years. Watch as it's taken your friends and yourself first. That little smile you had when you first came into my class, and now it's ruined your health. He gently lets go and covers his own eyes again, and I really just sat here and watched it. I was just thinking about how people act like they have more than they have. Napkins? Let it go, man. It's all good. Are you alright? I'm super. I'm more than okay. In fact, I've made up my mind about something. You? Take her to the gala, please. There's something I want you two to see. Yeah. No worries, just do it, please. I know. What are you going to show us? You stopped at the door. Something you should have seen a long time ago. My shoes slosh noisily through the cluttered hallways as we slowly head back to the main building of the school. Olivia herself had used her arms to tuck her legs up onto her seat, and her head now resting in her knees. Edmund didn't seem to care. Each of his footsteps splashed water around, soaking his slacks. The drains in the floor are working overtime, keeping the water at a minimal level. An unsettling feeling washes over me as we enter the auditorium. That's not the auditorium. The interior of the school pitch black from the lack of lighting. At least we aren't dealing with wet floors by navigating the halls in the dark is a new difficulty. Amelia brings out her phone, uses it to flash the lights shining away, but I'm still unnerved. The only sound I hear is the squashing of my shoes and the awkward dripping from both Olivia and I. And it was then I realized that Lankins had left us behind. Mr. Lankins? Her voice bounces down the dark hallway of the school. Did you see where he went? Olivia, I think he went this way. I can just make out Olivia's hand pointing thanks to her phone, towards the school offices. I keep pushing Olivia through, though taking my time I feel my shoes threatening to slip with each step I take. It's slow going between the eerie darkness and my slow steps. What should have taken a minute at most takes about 3 minutes for us to arrive at the gala. Well, we're here. The storm rages against the glass ceiling, what's normally a source of the hall's natural lighting is completely obscured by the typhoon, and there's still no sign of blankets. I withdraw my phone and turn the flashlight on too in hopes to improve the situation, and hear something else aside from us in the rain. Nothing that gets closer. A tiny red light in the distance, there with the sound. A tiny ember bouncing and swaying in a rhythm with their odd tapping, until a fire. It's gonna burn the painting. It's an axe. Lampkins. Ambrose rusting at the thought forces its way through me. He wouldn't ever hurt us. Lampkins, what are you doing? Something is kicked aside. It's Olivia's painting from the art contest a few weeks back. It smacked loudly against the glass casing of the display case. These are the ones, yeah? What? I'm ignored. Lincoln stares right at Olivia. She's also struck fearful, but she nods. Lincoln takes a deep breath and faces the display as he smashes it and destroys it. What are you gonna do with that? Hey, lamb kids, wait, this is a bit extreme, isn't it? Man, just murdered a painting in cold blood. Olivia, it's gone. Both of them. This should have been done long ago. Yeah. This is. It's crazy. I know. What about the other thing in the case? Oh, who cares? Those students graduated ages ago. You know how many still do art now? If they're collateral so someone else can, fine. I mean, but Olivia, you got no other big paintings now, do you? She shakes her head. That's a shame. Look what I just did. I can make another one. Yes, that's what I need to hear. You make me so proud to do that. Do you remember in sophomore year when you challenged me to think of something I'd want to do and set a goal to do it? Of course. I couldn't think of anything back then, but there has been one thing I've been wanting to do for a while now. And like you said, some company really could help. Olivia grips my hand just a little tighter. Promise not to laugh. Never. Would you mind asking me again, Mr. Lincoln? Sure. I believe it was, if you could ever leave right now and do anything you want, what would you want to do? Anything at all. You know, I want to, I want to see a fountain and paint it for you. Brilliant. There is a fountain here. There's a park, and there's a park not too far from here, and you can barely see the fountain in the center of it from the window. You can't see it right now in the storm, but I want to go there. I think I know it. It's the one on Stig, a stretch equestrian park. That's wonderful, Olivia. Lampkin stumbles a bit. I rush to give him a shoulder. Some shards of glass crunch under my feet. Good thing the power is out. No cameras up or anything. Would you get in trouble for that? I'm always in trouble for something. And ordinarily, I just take the hit. Especially from something like this. That Mia chick can take the fall, so hell with her. Olivia manages another smile. I'm looking forward to that painting. You better get it for me. I will. And you better help, of course. Lampkins motions for us to wait by the school entrance. For a while we sit there. Do you have one, Lampkins? Flanagan! Why? I'm calling him now to call him Lamb. Anakin Flanagan's. Do you have something you want to do? I'm already doing it. No, really. Really, teaching high school is a great job that nobody ever regrets. You should pose that question to Ingo there. All this character development, he's barely said a word. Alright, Ingo, what about you? What do I want to do? If I could pick anything, I guess. Save. That's what I want to do. I want to go to college. I want to make plenty of friends. I feel like I've already done that. We can say that, and we can just, metaphorically use the word love. A more ambitious dream I can get behind it. Olivia, a bit unimaginable. That's just hair talking. You should probably start looking more into how and not the what. Like you would know, I could totally do it. Sure thing, Mr. Successful. Your reply doesn't even have 10 followers. You looked me up. Yeah, I got bored. You could at least follow me if you're gonna cyberstalk me. I'll follow you when you make good content. Also, your interpretation of Godzilla you copied from the video essay sucks, and you should feel bad. I copied Lemkin's motions with the axe and karate chopped Olivia's leg. I don't feel that, jackass. Well, I guess some banter is a form of motivation as well. Sounds like you have quite the promise to uphold now income. Even with the things being thrown around, what stood out the most was the wild grin on Olivia's face. Between the aggressive rage and the uproar of laughter, time seemed non-existent. I could feel the muscles in my face aching. My face ached on about the laughter, which made the taxi's arrival so disappointing. As we escorted out of the parking lot, our merriment was replaced with something more comfortable, an easy quiet that made my thoughts wander back to the things that we said to each other, back to what our pedo teacher had said. Navigating the world alone. For all the time I spent around living her friends, it never really occurred to me that she'd harbored something like loneliness. I mean, Damien alone is like a wild crowd composed in a single bedroom. And Liz, she's practically the group's nanny or something. The driver of the yellow van leans into his horn. I can feel the vertical layer on me, even though the haze of the fog are real. Olivia draws her hood up, and I pull my jacket over my head. With the final look from Mr. Lincoln's sweet thinking, no need for thanks. Seeing my students grow and prosper into adulthood is all the more this old house needs. By the way, she sends us off into the rain to the irritated taxi van that yells at us about burning his gas. While Olivia works to get herself situated in the cab, I turn back. Mr. Lincoln is sagging mandarily back into the building. Hurry up. Right. It's been about a week since the typhoon. The days after were surreal, with how things just realigned with the old schedule. Lincoln was serious when he told Olivia to keep off that risk. He effectively banned her from playing until it got better. Meaning all week I've been doing artwork as a group. It was exhausting. I knew that. Whoa. Excuse me. Since when do we start our days with Olivia? Okay.